AEW Revolution was last night, and today we got some big news to discuss right here on the Ango Show. Yes. All right, guys, if you missed my thoughts on AEW Revolution, go ahead and check out the live tab on my channel. Great live review. Also, don't forget we got a giveaway at 100,000 subscribers. Tons of cool prizes, including a WWE World Heavyweight Championship replica belt. If you guys are interested in that sort of thing, go ahead and do it because we're getting closer and closer. With that being said, I want to talk about some really interesting news. Remember when Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly were brought into AEW? It obviously seemed like it was going to be a big hit, and this was largely due to the fact that Triple H and WWE NXT had something really incredibly exciting with the Undisputed Era. Well, it obviously didn't pan out in AEW, but Kyle O'Reilly returned yesterday at AEW Revolution, and if you guys watched my live stream, spoiler alert, I absolutely loved this. I thought this was really dope. I thought Kyle O'Reilly coming back, repackaged, new character. Seems like there's a little bit more depth to Kyle O'Reilly in 2024, which I'm actually pretty damn excited about. I was a huge fan of the Undisputed Era in NXT. Obviously, Kyle O'Reilly prior to WWE, I was a big fan of him and Adam Cole. But of course, now that he's in AEW, he was gone for a very long time. There's some interesting plans being brought up. According to Fightful Select, there are other aspects of his character that will undergo transformation. While many speculated that he would align himself with the Undisputed Kingdom faction, it appears that a different direction has been in the works for months. Interestingly enough, despite the rest of the Undisputed Era members now being in AEW, there is no current talks for Bobby Fish to join the company. There are no plans for him to join the promotion, and there are no plans for Bobby Fish to return in any capacity. Now, I find this to be very interesting because Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, obviously, a lot, has been done as a tag team for them, right? And obviously, if you just know the history, it makes a lot of sense for them to be together, which is actually kind of shocking for me personally to see that AEW doesn't have them tag team at all. I said this in my live review. I feel like the Undisputed Kingdom thing, it's not hitting the way I would have hoped. It's just not. At the end of the day, it's not. And this Kyle O'Reilly situation is actually bringing fresh air to the situation, to the storyline. So I'm a little bit more intrigued now to see how they go about it. The storyline was losing its life. Kyle O'Reilly is here to save the day. And honestly, I think we just have to say thank you to Von Wagner, because if it wasn't for Von Wagner, then Kyle O'Reilly would never be in AEW. So shout out to Von Wagner. Ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it going. Just a couple weeks ago, we talked about AEW getting a new stage. Well, now AEW just revealed the new logo for Dynamite. And obviously, we know Tony Khan has plans to reveal a new stage for this upcoming Dynamite on Wednesday. Now, you're probably watching this and you're looking at this image and you're like, why the hell is there a picture of WCW Nitro? And I understand why people would ask this sort of question, but I swear I have a point. Instead of talking about this in a 2-hour-long podcast, because I think 2 hours is way too long, I want to simply tell you guys that right now AEW has something really dope happening. Let's just acknowledge what it is. For the most part, 2023 was ass, okay? I think it's pretty clear. When you look at AEW in 2021 and AEW in 2024, I think it's okay to admit that 2022 and 2023 wasn't that freaking good. It just wasn't. Growing pains, inconsistency, some good storylines, a lot of bad storylines. You might consider it hate, but you shouldn't be shocked when I tell you guys, hey, I'm enjoying what I'm watching on TV now because I can tell that there are some changes with the product. AEW is starting to pick up again. Great. Consistency is the key word. We got to see how consistent they keep it. But the reason why I'm talking about the new stage is because I really think people need to understand AEW has got the barricades with the LEDs. They got the Trons everywhere. And that's a WWE move. AEW needs to go and look at WCW Nitro for inspiration. They need to get away from the glam and the colors and all of these different things. They are the alternative. They should look like the alternative. That's not what I'm seeing on TV. You want to call that hatred? go ahead. I just think it's a very fair observation that I think AEW realistically should make some changes. Now, with that being said, where should those changes be made? Dynamite should continue the glam. It's the A show, right? It's the A show. It's their number one show. Dynamite should look like how it looks now. Obviously, they'll have a new stage and they'll get better. Collision and Rampage should be taped together, and that's where I would like to see a minimalistic stage, similar to Nitro, put their logo somewhere, and do all the metal bars and stuff like that. Just keep it simplistic, keep it cool, look like the alternative, differentiate your products a little bit. I think that would be a really big win for AEW. Presentation is everything, perception is everything. And if you want to appear like the alternative to WWE, the way to do that is by presenting your product differently. They are both very high quality products in terms of like camera work and stuff like that. But obviously for somebody who doesn't really pay attention to the wrestling world, and trust me, I've seen this with people who don't watch wrestling, my own friends who don't watch wrestling, they see Chris Jericho in AEW and they're like, oh, Chris Jericho's still in WWE, right? They got to do something to differentiate themselves there. But I'm always excited for new stages. I can't wait to see what Dynamite stage looks like. I hope they also make some changes for Collision and Rampage. I look forward to it. And I obviously want to know what you guys think about that. But that's going to bring us to our final topic of today's video. Ladies and gentlemen, Darby Allin, Sting. Sting's last match in AEW. But no, he's not technically leaving the company just yet. He is going to have conversations with Tony Khan about possible roles. He doesn't want to be an agent or anything like that. But I do look forward to seeing what Tony Khan and Sting come up with. With that being said, Tony Khan did reveal, my prediction was actually right. AEW is in fact vacating the tag team championship belts. Now, as you guys know, I talked about this before. There was a little rumor that I heard that maybe, just maybe, AEW was going to have Sting and Darby retire with those belts, and that would be the final reiteration of that tag team championship belt design. And then when they're vacated, they're going to do a tournament, and whoever wins the tournament will be crowned new tag team champions with new tag title belts. I don't know if that's true. I don't know anything about that, but I think it's important to have that conversation. And I think with AEW making some of these changes, I feel like AEW should create some new belts. I think having new belt designs every so often actually keeps the product looking fresh. And it's time to get that tag team division on track, right? It's time to get it on track. Sting, done with the company. Titles vacated. And on top of that, Tony Khan announced Darby Allin versus Jay White at AEW Big Business. I look forward to seeing what Darby Allin's going to do as a singles guy, because it's been so long since we've seen that. But I think that's important to address. Right now, I do think there is a lot more optimism for AEW's future. Regardless of what Tony Khan says at media scrums, just based on what I'm watching, there's been a lot of good stuff in the past 3 months. And it's not perfect by any means, but it's been a lot better than last year, and I appreciate that. We'll see what happens, man. I think new tag titles will be great, and I think you got to really start building that tag team division. BCC, FTR, Private Party, Butcher and the Blade, Ray Phoenix and Penta. Obviously LAX is not together anymore, Proud and Powerful, but I would love to see them reunite at some point if it's at all any way possible. There's a lot of great tag teams. Less ROH, more AEW focus on TV, and I think a lot of people will be happy. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, Revolution. Congratulations, Tony Khan. That show was a banger, and I'll see you guys next time.